Is now joining.
For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ed Meitzen. I am the Nebraska ODP director. Some other things I do outside of Nebraska ODP. I am the assistant coach at the College of St. Mary, coach high school soccer at North Star in Lincoln, and I also coach a couple of teams for Sporting Nebraska in Lincoln as well. I will give you a bit of a warning. I know the storm's rolling through Omaha now. It just went through Lincoln. I have lost power twice, so if we get disconnected, I will hop back onto the call on my phone and try to go through the remainder of the presentation. So appreciate any patience if we have some connectivity issues. So topics for this evening, we're going to talk about what is ODP, why we do ODP, how the selection process will work, the coaching staff that will be working with this cycle, the 24-25 calendar. We'll talk a little bit about the communication tool that we use, Team App. We'll talk about the player key qualities that will be important for your kiddos
Is now
to know,
joining.
as those will be what we're looking at when we select players for the age group pools.
Is now joining.
So what is ODP? ODP stands for the Olympic Development Program. It is the identification process for U.S. youth soccer. The idea is to promote high-level players for selection to U.S. national teams. The secondary objective for Nebraska ODP is to train and develop high-level players to help improve their environments at their home teams and clubs and their own personal development. The U.S. Youth Soccer ODP philosophy is to identify players of the highest caliber on a continuing and consistent basis, which will lead to increased success for the U.S. national teams in the international arena. The purpose is to identify and provide opportunities for high potential players, facilitate their development, and expose them to the next level of their chosen pathway. The staff goals I have for the coaching staff is to provide a memorable experience for every player, to teach first, challenge every player to be a better version of themselves, and allow an environment for a unique development experience. And then obviously, it's a game. We're going to have some fun as well. So just a quick overview of the cost. Obviously, you guys have seen the tryout ID clinic cost of $50. That fee only needs to be paid once. Once you register for tryouts or the ID clinics and you pay the $50, you can go to any of the events. So I've had some people reach out to me and say, hey, we're only going to make one in Omaha, but can we go to Lincoln? Absolutely. Once you've registered and paid, you can go to both Omaha and Lincoln. You can go to Lincoln only. You can go to Omaha. I would highly recommend getting to as many of the identification or tryout events as you can, as the more we see your kiddo, the better evaluation we can give them to see if they're a fit for the program. Once team selection is completed, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. The registration fee for the ODP program is $250. That will get you to access to all the training sessions that are on the calendar. The KC Friendly event, any player selected for ODP will be invited to Kansas City. That cost is $75. The Memphis Interregional event is $125 if selected. The goal this year is to try to take 2 teams at each age group, but we will take the groups that make sense to that event based on the players available. We have an optional international trip that we will have some more information on for those who get selected. The dates are still kind of TBD. I'm working with World Strides on exactly when we're going to do that this year, but it will not be till 25, either over spring break or in May. That is optional. You do not have to do the international trip. That is only if you are available and want to do that. For the older players, the high school age players, so the 2009s and up, we will have the Real Cup Showcase. This is a college showcase event. that we will take those older players to get them seen by college coaches. And then the last event that will Nebraska will play a part in the cycle is the Region 2 Region Camp, which will be in July of 25. If you are selected for that, and that is typically going to be probably somewhere between 3 to 8 players per age group. That camp this year is $400. I don't know what the price is going to be next year, but a few people who were selected were a little surprised on the cost, so I wanted to make sure everybody was aware up front what the region camp cost was. So, how the selection process works. Give me 1 second here. Got a few people in the waiting room here. Okay. How the selection process works. Obviously, the first selection will be for Team Nebraska or the age group pool. We will take 18 to 30 players per age group. The goal will be to of those 30 players is to create 2 teams in the younger ages. If we get enough players that fit the program in the older ages, we will form 2 teams in those groups as well. The goal will have to be teams announced on September 6th. Originally, that was going to be in August, but with the rescheduling of the Scotts Bluff event, we pushed that back an additional week. After selection for the state team, the next level of identification is for region camp selection. That will be after the Memphis event. Memphis is typically where the region staff will do their scouting to identify players, to select players from that event and from the different states to go to region camp in Rockford. Those invites for region camp get sent out in late April, early May. This year they were a little bit delayed. Some folks didn't get theirs until early June. Once you go to region camp, that will generally be, because that's the entire 14 states that make up Region 2, there will be anywhere from 80 to 120 kids per age group. Of those 80 to 120 kids, they will select 18 players that would be 16 field players, 2 goalkeepers, to represent the age group, where they will go down to Orlando in January. Actually, that date's wrong. That'll be January 26th for this cycle. There's an interregional event where all the regions go and play against each other. And at that event is where they will select the top 18 players from each of the 4, from the combination of the 4 regions to determine the national team that will have a national team camp, and then they will go and play some events as well. Typically, they will do an international trip, Dallas Cup, or some other contest for that age group. So for this year, I'm still looking probably for 1 or 2 more coaches for both the girls and the boys side. The current coaches that will be working on the boys side, we have Jeremy Tesaya, Ari Galvan, Alex Schuler, Roberto Amaro, Court Lovato, Daniel Jaimes, Luis Delgado, and Jack Bennett. I won't read through all their brief bios here. I will be doing some social media posts and creating a coach's page that will have the assignments in Team app. So I'll be meeting with the coaches later tonight where we'll kind of work through some of the assignments. And then so we should have the age group assignments before we announce the teams in September. And I'll just let you kind of take a peek at those coaches here for a second. On the girls' side, we will have Emily Hester, Ashley Holland, Jen Kennedy Croft, Kim Nagel, Jordan Earsick, Nick Smith, Jamison Parkhill, Adam Sanchez, and Daniel Zuckweiler. So I'll kind of give you what we're trying to look for with the coaching staff that we put together. First and foremost, we're looking at coaching experience, number one. Number two, level of licensing with U.S. Soccer. And then number three, we try to involve as many of the college coaches locally that we can. So you'll see a lot of these coaches are currently at a college or either in the past have worked as a college coach. So, team app. If you're returning to the group, no news here. We are sticking with Team App as our communication tool. So once we get post team selection, you'll see that your access will change in Team App. Currently, everyone just has general access, so that lets you see the homepage, the event schedule, new sponsors, news, our social media links, the 24-25 calendar, and the FAQ page. Post team selection, we will give you access to your team's information, so that will give you the schedule for the particular age group that you're in, where you'll see the full calendar schedule in there, where the team trainings are, the event schedule, and that those activities. And then also post-team selection, you'll see the chat feature turned on as well. There'll be an age group chat and a general chat, which is another way we can communicate besides just email. Oh, and real quick before I move on from Team App, if you have not gone to Team App, the first time you're there, this screenshot, you do not see it. But the first time you go to Team App and you select Nebraska ODP, you will see a plus join button. Go ahead and click on that, and it'll send a notification to where we will give you access to the general membership. What that does is that puts you on the contact list. So anytime we edit something in the event page or post a news article or do any changes in the app, you will get a notification. There is a smartphone application for both Android and iPhone that you can download, so you can get those notifications on your phone. Would recommend downloading the app, but for sure, get to the Team App webpage, click join. It'll ask you to input some information, create an account, and that's a way we can keep you updated besides just the email blast that we send out from Stack. Besides the Team App application, we will send some email out to make sure we hit everybody who's registered. You will want to add club news at bluesombrero.com to your safe sender or allowed email list. This will prevent those emails from going to your junk mail. So again, that email address is clubnews at bluesombrero.com. I'll leave that email address up there for a second so you can make note of that. You want to make sure that is the easy way to do that is just add it as a contact, either on your phone or your email, and that will keep those messages from going to your spam. So, quick discussion about the schedule. So, coming up this weekend, we have the Omaha Tryout event. The specific times for age groups are posted in Team App. The following weekend, we will be in Lincoln. So the Omaha is going to be at Tranquility Park. That address is in the Team App as well. In Lincoln, we will be at LSF. That schedule is posted as well. We have not yet posted the schedule for Scotts Bluff, but we'll be at Scotts Bluff August 24th and 25th. We will announce the state pool rosters on September 6th. We will have team training dates October, November, December, January, February, and May. Again, those events we are going to be doing. The KC Friendlies will be December 14th and 15th. Memphis Interregional, that's the showcase event that where we're looking to select those region teams. That's going to be President's Day weekend, February 14th through the 17th. International trip TBD, we're targeting May. As of right now, trying to get after the high school soccer season is over for Nebraska. We will do the Real Cup showcase for the high school age players. That event is always on Memorial Day weekend. For those of you wondering, there is no games on the Monday Memorial Day. There are only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
Is
then
now exiting.
the dates for Region Camp are TBD, but that is always in July, typically the week after the 4th. So now we'll chat a little bit about the player key qualities. So the key qualities that we're looking at for selection is the player's ability to read and understand the game. Some of those questions that we are looking to ask, those players can ask themselves, or do I consistently attempt to play it with purpose and solve problems? Do I recognize when to pass, dribble, shoot? When the ball is away from my area, am I finding appropriate attacking or defending shape? Do I recognize moments of transition and take advantage? Number 2, do they take initiative and are they proactive? Do I create or react? Am I a self-starter? Do I take on opponents 1v1? Do I think ahead? Number 3, are they focused for the entire game on their task? Do they have guts or bravery? How do they handle adversity, mistakes, or challenges? How do they manage their behavior and emotions? Do I enhance the team and the other players by helping them execute in their task and roles? Number 4, optimal technical ability to execute their task for 90 plus minutes. Am I technically sound to be effective and successful? Am I proficient in 1v1 situations to create or win the ball back? Do I have the technical skills to dictate the pace of the game? Executing with optimal physical ability. Do I use my body correctly? Do I have fitness to execute my task or role at the top level the entire game? Do I have power and speed? Number 6, do they take responsibility? Are they taking responsibility for your own development on and off the field? Do I articulate my learning needs? Do I evaluate and reflect on my own performance? Do I have a personal development plan, goals, and a plan of action? Do I manage my environment to perform at the top level, taking care of nutrition, sleep, and hydration? Am I a role model for my teammates? So those are the 6 key qualities that we're looking for. The only thing I'll additionally add to those 6 is we are going to be looking at those soft skills, which are, the coachability piece. How do they treat their teammates and coaches? How do they interact away from the field? So if we're giving instructions or we're going to take a quick break, how do they handle the interactions with the teammate? Are they well behaved, treating everyone with respect, etc. So I have been working a little bit on the game model for Team Nebraska. So obviously this is going to be similar to what U.S. Soccer is looking for. So as the players move on from the state team to region team to national, things are similar. So they don't have to relearn items, but they are hopefully understanding what is being looked for at the next level so they know what they're doing when they step on the field. So we have the 4 areas. We have attacking, defending, transition to attack, and transition to defending. So when we're attacking, can we create chances to score goals? Can we exploit the opponent when they're unbalanced or disorganized? And then can we get them unbalanced or disorganized to get forward? And obviously we'll work through this through the team training sessions, as the coaching staff will be given a focus for each of those training events, so we get through all the 4 areas. So when we transition to defending, basically we're prepping to deny chances in order to prevent goals. Can we transition to defend quickly, pressure the ball immediately, delay the opponent's attack when outnumbered, and then get organized and balanced quickly? In the defending moment, the goal is to deny chances in order to prevent goals, win the ball back, get organized and balanced, stay organized and balanced. And then obviously the way we're going to talk about this one is getting them to think about, instead of just defending, the idea is winning the ball back. So when we're out of possession, that is our focus. And then In the transitional moment to attacking, the goal will be to possess, to pass or dribble forward in order to create chances. Can we do that quickly? Can we keep the ball when we can't go forward? Can we exploit the opponent when they're unbalanced or disorganized and go forward quickly? And that is our game model that we'll be working with all the players on. The last thing that I like to share with everybody to give you an idea of where I am coming from, specifically from my coaching philosophy. I do ask all the coaches in the program to make sure that they have their coaching philosophy and brush up on that from year to year. So I make some adjustments every year. I've added a couple of things this year, but I'll just read through this really quick for you. The coach is a teacher of the game. They must foster an environment that allows everyone to learn. The goal is to create a positive development space that encourages both development on and off the field. This is achieved by having standards, behaviors, and goals agreed upon by the player and coach. Give your players input and buy-in creates a higher chance that those goals are reached. It is the coach's responsibility to hold those players accountable for the agreed upon standards, foster confidence, and develop the desired culture. Each player needs the opportunity to succeed and fail as you learn from both. And finally, and most importantly, have relentless passion and infectious love for the game. Just a couple of housekeeping items I wanted to touch on. The Omaha schedule, make sure you've reviewed the schedule in Team App. There is a check-in time that is 30 minutes before your sessions start that is listed in the app. So with the number of players that we have coming to each of those age group, it's going to be extremely helpful if you get there ample time before the session starts. So 25 to 30 minutes before the session starts so we can get everybody checked in, get them their tryout jersey and get that number recorded, get a quick picture, and then get them onto the field. For tryouts, I have some folks coming early to help out, but if there is any returning parents from last year that are able to help out with check-in, getting numbers recorded, jerseys handed out, feel free to shoot me an email at odp@nebraskastatesoccer.org, and I will be happy to put you to work. Again, this is an extremely low-paying job, but I will give you plenty of thank yous and kudos if you're available to help out. Really, I only need one person per age group to help out, and that should be plenty. Again, just a reminder to ensure to make sure that you join Team App as soon as possible so you get those updates or communication changes there. And then the last little item I wanted to touch on is we are switching to Adidas this cycle. USYS National and USYS Regional have moved to Adidas, so we are as well. This was the first draft of the jersey for the black kit. The only thing that is not correct on that is the logo will be the 3-color logo. The nice one, it will not be a neon, but we will keep the neon theme going forward. So the Nebraska logo will be the red, white, and blue logo, not neon, but we will have Nebraska across the front. Any questions, feel free to throw those in the chat. I saw a couple of popped in. So there was the question out there, was Duncan McGuire identified via Nebraska ODP? I am not 100% on his participation in Nebraska ODP. I do know he was in several different programs in his time in Nebraska. And Travis, the slides were advancing, so it was probably just you. Yes, the presentation will be sent out to view later. Any other questions? Great question, Brady. For the 2013 age team, will they be eligible for region pool selection this year? Yes, they will. So the 2013 age group last year was a pre-ODP age. They were not eligible for region selection. This year they will be, as when we get to July of 2025, they will be at regionals as an 11v11 game model. So they will be going to region camp or eligible for selection for region camp. So I will hang out on the call for a few more minutes if anybody has additional questions. I'm going to go ahead and pause recording.